But now we have an exclusive interview, and that's right here in the studio. Our own Tommy Calautti will be interviewing Frank Vatrano, forward for your UMass hockey team. Vatrano has an impressive 16 goals and 9 assists for the UMass attack this season. So Tommy, take it away.
All right, Frank, thanks for coming into the studio.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, we heard 16 goals, 9 assists. You see a lot of your play on the ice. Tell everyone at UMass, who is Frank Vatrano? What should we know about him? What do you want the world to know about you?
You know, I'm kind of a people person, hardworking guy. You know, I like to earn everything I have. I love to be around, just like people in general. My teammates. I think if guys tell you, I'm a fun person to be around. I'm constantly making jokes and all that. So, aside from hockey, I can be a little bit intense, but away from the rink and in the locker room, I'm a pretty laid-back person. All
right, so let's talk about the team itself. I mean, every locker room has its own personality. You get the jokester, you get Mr. Captain Serious, Taves Ovechkin. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to be in your locker room, like the atmosphere that has.
I think we have a very good atmosphere in our locker room. I think there's different sets of groups of people. I think, when it's practice, I think guys, more laid back, we have music playing in the locker room, and all that. And, when game time comes around, you have the serious guys, like Steve Massler is a very serious guy before the game, takes that stuff very intense. And, you have me and like Ray Pagosi and the guys like that who are, we have to kind of stay away from those guys because we like to joke around a little bit and we don't want to distract them. But I think we have a bit of a mix of, kind of a different locker room environment depending on what day it is.
Now, this may be kind of a touchy subject, but what's Coach Micheletto like? I've seen him in the post-game interviews. I think he loves me from what I've seen. But what's Coach like behind the scenes?
Coach Mick's a really big motivator. He's constantly pushing you to be the best you can be, and he's not much of a yeller. He just has that stern tone of voice. When you do something wrong, and he starts talking like that. You've done something wrong, but
I haven't gotten that stern
tone.
No,
not
yet,
you, but
not yet.
A few of the guys on the team have got it, and it's just him because he cares about you a lot, and he's just always pushing you to be as best you can be.
Now let's get down to the hockey subject. Now, I mean, I played since I was 4, and Coach Micheletto didn't show up at my high school scouting me. So, what made you special enough? What makes you such a dynamic player, in your opinion?
For me, I think when people watch the games, my shot stands out a lot, and I like to create offense that way. Guys go in the net and putting pucks in like that. But I think I just work hard every shift. I try to give my all, like basically playing every shift like it's my last, and constantly trying to keep up in the play, making hits and making plays like that.
Well, I mean, like we said, you had 16 goals and 9 assists. You had, I believe, top 10 in points, top 5 in goals. So, what do you think helps you to put up those kind of points on a team like this?
I think my teammates have been great for me this year. I got off to a bit of a slow start. I haven't played in competitive hockey in about a year and a half, and I'm not using that as an excuse. But my teammates were great with me the whole year. They've been helping me build chemistry with them ever since day one. I credit all of my success to them.
So I know the lines have bounced around. We already talked about injuries in the lineup. But tell us, some of the guys you've been playing with and who you like to play with the most.
I've been for the majority of the year. I've been playing with Steven Iacobellis and Ray Pagosi, and I think all three of us play a different kind of style of hockey, which I think molds together really well. I'm more of like a shooter, and I like to create offense with my shot. And Ray plays it really up tempo and likes to make plays. He's a great passer, and Steven Iacobellis, I think he's like one of the hardest workers in the league and on our team. He likes to create plays down low and be really physical, even though he's a smaller body. So I think the way all three of us play, it really works well together.
Yeah, you, Jill, and I talked before the segment about how your offense has jumped, and I'd attribute most of that to the power play. You've especially been really great on the power play and with the infusion of Brandon. What do you think has changed over the past year that has really made the power play and other special teams so much better for UMass?
I think it's been good. I think we have a good mix of guys out there. I think on our power play unit we have 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. So I think everyone plays the positions the coaches have done really well. And obviously having Brandon up on the top of the power play is a really dynamic player, and I think he brings a lot to the table and helps us in a big way.
Now, I want to talk a little about the Hockey East itself being in such a great league. I don't want to take shots at any of the other teams, but football, you see some of the teams they play, even basketball. What's it like playing against such high caliber competition, knowing you're playing against guys that are definitely going to the NHL?
It's awesome. Hockey East, every night you have to bring your A game in order to even have a shot in winning. I think that's what's so great about our conference. You have to bring everything to the table, night in, night out, and you can see it. You can see like we've been people have been picked us to be at the bottom of the league, and ever since Christmas break, we've been upsetting teams and playing really well. So just like that, I think teams come in underestimating us, and we bring it every night since break. So I think if we keep doing that here down the road, I think it's going to be a very fun season for us.
Now, like you said, you guys have definitely picked it up over break, beating Merrimack, who was 14, ULOL 12, being in games against BU and Northeastern. Do you think anything has changed over the course of the season? Is there anything you guys are doing better, or do you think it's just becoming a more cohesive unit?
I think just we're such a young team this year. I think we have a small roster this year, and we have 10 freshmen that are in the lineup every night. So I think it's just getting them kind of used to college hockey and kind of what it's all about. I know it can be overwhelming at first. You're playing really good competition. I think ever since break, everyone's came back ready and focused, and I think that's been huge for us.
Now, people look at the record, 18-1. They say probably not that great. What do you say to the naysayers about why this team is better than what its record shows?
I think it's, the record, it shows that it's not very good, but I think in some of the games that we've lost, we've been in them. I know, even the past couple of years, like last year, we lost so many games by just one goal, and I think just that little difference there, and I think, we bring everything every night. We try hard and, try to put pucks in the net whenever we can. I think that's why, we're a good team.
So what can we expect from the Minutemen going forward? Last couple of games of the season, trying to make that final playoff push. You guys feeling it?
Yeah, I think we have such high confidence now, especially after that big win over UMass Lowell. But if we keep playing like that, I think there's great things to come for us here down the stretch.
I don't want to get too corny, but all interviewers go into this kind of stuff. What does the sport of hockey mean to you? I mean, it was huge for me growing up. Obviously, that dream was broken at the end of high school. I guess third line wasn't good enough. But, what does it mean to you, being able to be a college hockey player knowing you got a shot at playing at higher levels?
Yeah, since I was a young kid, hockey's been a big part of my life. I've created friendships through hockey, and even now it's just creates such a close-knit group, which is what I love about it. Everyone on your team's like a brother to you, and that's just what I love about it. It brings you such great friendships and all that. So it's been awesome.
So, I mean, just to finish up, anything you want to say to Minuteman fans about the future or about what's going on with the hockey program?
Hopefully you see what we see in these recent games and push forward here down the stretch.
All right, Frank, thanks for being here. It's really
Thank you very
appreciated.
much.
Good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, and now we're going to head to break, and when we come back, Chris will take you up on the basketball segment. We'll see you on the other side.